one thing we find all the time is that people use incognito browsers way more on family law searches than they do for anything else because they don't want anyone knowing that they're looking for this stuff.
Hello and welcome to the Sterling Family Law Show. We are back with attorney Tom Hartin on Long Island. We've been following Tom for well over a year as he started his practice, and we just concluded September. We're sitting here in October of 2025, and we're talking about his numbers and results from last month, where he's at on hiring his first associate and moving his office. His second location is not working out to his satisfaction, and we're going to be moving that, or he wants to move that to a better spot. So we're going to talk that through. And then we're going to conclude with AI and some of the interesting things that we're worried about, concerned about, opportunities with AI in family law practice.
All right, we are back with our friend Tom. Another month of your wonderful law firm going. Give us the high level. How was September? And Jeff, I'll let you kick it off with a few more questions.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me back. September was a pretty good month. I'm shooting, I don't have like a hard number that I'm shooting for. Like minimum 20, probably trying to, as long as it's still me doing all the legal work, trying to get somewhere between 20 and 25. So this month's revenue was about 19,800. So pretty much right there. Love for that to be a little bit higher, but I'm comfortable with that month. It also was, as you know, I still do some patent work as well, and it was a busy month on that front. So there was, again, probably similar to the previous month where I had taken a vacation, probably more work. I had more work that I actually did. I could have done more work than I actually did. Not a ton, but I probably could have gotten up to that low to mid 20 range if I had some more time. But yeah, leads seemed pretty steady. Have seen a little bit of a dip since I think I hit a high point in my leads in like May or June, and seeing, I don't know if I'd call it a dip, like a tiny, like each month has gone down like a tiny little bit in terms of like the call volume that I'm getting. But I had still had 7 consults this month, and 5 of those turned into hires. So pretty good month in terms of bringing in new clients. I think 2 of those cases will probably wind up being pretty good ones because I had, I think, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but sometimes you just have a couple of those cases going at once that wind up being like most of your revenue. Maybe it's not for you because you're fixed fee, but where everything is just emergency, emergency, emergency. And you look back in a couple months and you're like, whoa, I just did like 30 grand on one case in a couple months, which, that's like equivalent of like 5 other cases, So yeah, two cases that I think will be bigger ones like that, and then 3 smaller ones. Again, you never know what could happen. A small one could turn into a big one, and vice versa. A big one could wrap up immediately. So that's just a prediction, of course. Expenses again stayed the same. So yeah, bottom line profit of just under 13K.
It's a great month. I mean, the close rate I was the most excited about. Have the 7.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think one of the other ones, I think it was in early September that I met with. I think she's going to sign. She just keeps having she's older and she keeps having little issues with getting here. We had an appointment last week. She had to cancel it, doctor's appointment. And I don't think she's lying. I do think she'll sign. And that's actually a good case too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the last 3 months here. You've had 19 consults and 10 hires. So whatever you're doing in the consult room is working.
Yeah. I think being able to do them in person is nice. And again, I don't know.
Are all of those 19 in person?
Largely, yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 of them wasn't, but I pretty much, unless the client asks, I do them in person.
Yeah, definitely. You'll get a higher close rate.
Some people, yeah. Yeah, and that's something I'm trying to keep up as I look to expand, which is why I'm having some issues that we're going to talk a little bit about. I don't want to harp on it because I feel like we keep talking about it. But my next office, where it's the location and everything like that, because I'd like to keep that up, the in-person consults.
Yeah. So you pulled out $7,000 in expenses, ending the month at about 13 grand in bottom line profit.
Yeah, my expenses again, they stay pretty much the same every month. It's Rocket Clicks, office expense, a couple of softwares which are just recurring.
Well, last month we talked about your second location, which has not been fruitful, and you're getting impatient about hanging on to it. Maybe we should switch to a different one. It's kind of what you're going through. So let's kind of unwrap that a little bit more. Where's your head at around that?
Yeah, I've pretty much made the decision to move that location. I kind of made that decision like a few months ago, but I definitely am going ahead with it at this point. And as I look to hire somebody, I am kind of have this conversation, together. I'm looking to hire somebody, and I 99% sure I have someone that's ready to go. So I'm almost positive she's going to join. Can't say too much on that topic yet, but yeah, we've met a couple times. We've had a few discussions. We're in agreement on all major issues. Salaries and everything like that. So I'm really excited about it. She's very experienced. She was referred to me by somebody, so she's well liked. I trust this person. So yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
It's a huge next step.
Yeah, it is. So my problem where it comes in on the office front is she lives very far east on Long Island, and the way Long Island works is the further east you go, the less populous it gets. There's still some very wealthy areas out there, right? Like you have the Hamptons, you have Montauk and the North Fork. There's a lot of wealthy areas out there, but I don't want to open an office like way out there where the population density starts dropping off. So trying to find a location that is suitable for me in terms of like the income, average like household income and population density and everything like that, but that is suitable for her because as I said, I want to keep up doing in-person consultations, and we've gone back and forth a bunch on the location, and I've been like, what about this? What about this? What about this town? And I could tell like, she, even to like the furthest location I would go, the furthest out east I would go is still like a half an hour drive for her. Whereas some of the other ones are more like 45, 50 minutes. So I understand where she's like, I'm okay with that as long as I'm not like expected to come in every day. And my thing is I don't care how often you come in. I'm not really I might go there once a week. Like I'm not going to certainly be there every day. So I don't expect you to be there every day, but I also don't want it to get to a point where we're busy and things like in-person consults and stuff like that start dropping off because I selected an office that's an hour away from her. So I have to take that into account too.
So how close will your new second office be to her?
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. I think I have kind of three locations that I'm deciding between. Probably two of them are about 45 minutes from her. The other one is about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's supportive of the plan?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, just as long as she's committed.
What have been her main questions she's wanted to understand about joining your firm? I'm just curious as to what she's looking at.
Yeah, the firm she's coming from is a high salary but high burnout firm. They're known on the island. They are, if not the most well known, probably one of the top three most well known firms around here. They advertise. This is a firm that has like $100K a month advertising budget. They're everywhere. Again, I don't want to say the name of the firm, but so she, I guess concerns are, what salary hit she can expect to take. And again, I'll talk more about this in future episodes when everything's solidified, but she, understands that up front that the salary that I can offer is not anywhere close to I don't want to say not anywhere close, but it's a good amount less than what she's making there, but she's going to be, working significantly less. She's so burnt out. She cannot wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
So
quality of life is a major factor.
Yeah. Right. It's definitely by far the biggest factor. And then, I guess, so concerns for her is, I'm going to pay her to an extent based on like performance and hours and stuff like that. So obviously I have to guarantee some of that, but part of that is also going to be me getting her busy enough that she can do that work so that I can get her back to her old salary or close to it, reasonably close to it, considering that she, will be working significantly less. And there's, while we had a few discussions, like, so here, what they call panel work, I don't know if they have the same thing by you, but, where the state, basically you can take work that the state pays you for in family court. And it's really good for. I think she really wants to do it because you still get paid like a decent amount, and it's a good way to get to know the judges. So you might represent like children, like be like an attorney for the child in cases like that. So she said like while she's making less and she's not overwhelmingly busy yet, would I be okay with her doing that? I said absolutely, yeah. That's kind of a win-win. She'll get to know more of the judges and she'll get to make a little bit of extra money that I don't have to pay her, as long as it's not interfering with the work I'm giving her. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to count that towards revenue to your firm, but it sounds like you're just going to let her do
No,
it on the side.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. So have you talked about incentives above the base with her? Has that been something she's been curious about?
Yeah, we've had a little back and forth. I guess I won't talk about that too much yet because we haven't agreed on anything yet, and I don't want to give too much away, but I will have those answers. But and it's obviously it will be like a percentage of her. She'll get a base salary, a percentage and a percentage of cases, and if that goes over her base salary, she'd get paid that, and that percentage is higher if she brings in the case. So kind of trying to encourage, especially in the beginning. I know she loves networking and stuff like that. So if she wants to spend some time while she's less busy and go out and get more cases and make more money on those, that's a win-win for both of us also. So
yeah, for some attorneys, even having a networking budget of $100 a month or a couple hundred a month is a big deal. So maybe that might help her. She might find them interesting. Well, good. Well, it's a developing story, so keep watching it for the next couple months.
yeah, I'm excited about it.
It's a big step for you, Tom. Being able to multiply yourself and leverage someone else to get some of that work done is a step not a lot of attorneys take, honestly.
Yeah, and just her experience will be invaluable. Even like certain things for me still, even now that I've been doing it over a year, still probably take way longer than they should, just because I have to triple check things to make sure I'm doing them right. And she's been practicing long enough that I'm not worried about her making mistakes like that. So I won't I won't be micromanaging her cases, anything like that. High level oversight, of course, but she can basically run her cases the way she wants to, that's probably another big factor for her as well.
Yeah. Well, switching gears over to a different topic of AI. I know we were talking prior to hitting the record button about AI and how that's going to impact search. Do you have any thoughts as an IP attorney as to what you're seeing?
As an IP attorney, no, I do. I'm a podcast listener. Like, I do this when I listen to yours. I obviously listen to all yours. I listen to plenty other podcasts also. And it's one of those things I'm hearing being talked about a lot more recently is, rather not that, the SEO is dead. Of course you get some of those. I don't buy into that, but AI might start slowly chipping away at traditional SEO. Meaning instead of someone going to Google to try to find their lawyer, they might go to ChatGPT or Anthropic or something, to find their lawyer. So, I was just curious, what we're doing or what we're planning on doing. Maybe we're not even doing it yet, but to make sure that, when that time comes, it could be, that could be years away. That could never happen. But, with the way this stuff moves, that could happen in 3 months. It's not crazy. Right. So, what are we doing or planning to do that, make sure if I'm coming up in AI searches, and same for your firm as well. And one of the interesting things I saw is, I don't know if you saw this, it was like a study of where, I think it was specific to ChatGPT, but where it pulls its data from. And the number one source for the AI model was Reddit.
I've seen studies like that or surveys like that. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even use Reddit. I don't even have a name for it.
I know. I like find myself on it occasionally, but yeah, same. I don't have a username or anything like that. So, I don't know. Is that something worth? I've heard people say, if you can get on Reddit for 20 minutes a week and answer a couple of questions, find some local subreddits in your area, Nassau County, people looking for a divorce, and you can just answer them, that might be, that might give your firm some credit in the AI models, stuff like that. And I forget what the second was, but Google was like, Google search was like the third or fourth one down, something like that. So I don't know, other things that like you might not have thought to optimize for Reddit 6 months ago, but if that's where ChatGPT is pulling the data from, it might be something worth considering. And it doesn't. It's free. It doesn't take much time.
Yeah.
Purpose and intent, right? Like, what are people leveraging the different platforms to do? How are they leveraging? Is it just research? Are they ready to convert? Are they just looking around? And in this area of family law that's hypersensitive and serious, one thing we find all the time is that people use incognito browsers way more on family law searches than they do for anything else, because they don't want anyone knowing that they're looking for this stuff. And so when it comes down to attribution on the marketing front, that always gets a little gray area, because if people are using incognito, then there's no tracking and all that. So the large language models are going to play in that as well, as it relates to research, but then
Right.
ultimately, how are they going to decide which firm to use?
Yeah, and I don't think anyone has an answer to that question yet.
Yeah. Well, like
I assume there'll be a lot of best of. Who's the best attorney in my area?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, family law firm leaders, my partner, Tony Carls, just released his book where he lays bare our precise blueprint for growing sterling lawyers from 0 to 17 million. This is the blueprint that we still use daily. And Tony explains it in very simple terms. The truth is, this is not simple to do. Success requires and demands hard work, but if you have the patience and the work ethic to do it, your family law firm will succeed. But like you, Tom, I'm concerned about the AI potentially disrupting our model as well. And I know I've talked to the folks at RC about that quite a bit, Tony in particular. And what I've experienced so far, because like you mentioned, the firm on Long Island that spends $100K a month, we spend well over that in our paid search. So I'm very attuned to what's happening there. And what we're seeing so far is we're seeing a tiny bit of cannibalization, but more than anything, AI is turning into basically another layer on top of their search engine searches.
So
it's not a research base now.
Yeah, not even necessarily someone going to ChatGPT, but what's the one for Google? Is it Gemini? Perplexity? One of those? I mixed them up. Gemini, yeah. So like when you type into Google, divorce lawyer near me, you're starting to get that AI box up top. And that's, where are they pulling? I think it might have been Perplexity, now that we're saying that out loud, that was getting their information from Reddit. So yeah, just, I don't know, just things to consider. Again, it's not something I'm worried about in the very short term. And yeah, it's not going to completely cannibalize local SEO, but like you said, if now,
well,
what is the number?
Over the course of this year, we've invested a ton of resources into just producing content. And that's ironically turning out to help us quite a bit in the AI models. So all the stuff we're posting out there is helping us there. So we're finding a lift, actually. So
yeah, cool.
The world's changing right in front of us.
Yeah,
it is. And the adoption in divorce and family law has been relatively slow. I can tell you, my other job is very tech heavy, and it's been wildly disruptive. Like, in the sense that, budgets are cut in half compared to what they were 2 years ago.
IP budgets for big companies you're talking
Yes.
about? Okay.
Yeah. So like, if the company was paying $10,000 per patent application, and that, they're now offering like $6,000.
Wow. Okay.
Because
and how much faster is it to use AI to write these applications?
a lot faster.
Okay.
I would say, again, this isn't a patent law, what do you call it, podcast, but what used to take me to draft a patent application, I don't know, 20 to 25 hours, now is 10 to 15.
Wow. Okay. So
that's wild.
It's a big difference.
The cut and piece is justified under that analysis.
Yeah, it is. I actually think you turn out better on a per patent basis. But the question on that has been, what are companies going to do with that extra budget? Are they going to file twice as many patents, or are they just going to allocate that money towards other resources?
Have you seen anything to indicate what they're going to do so far?
So far, we've seen big increase in the number of patents. But
Oh, wow. Okay.
who knows how far that'll go. And that's again, it's a small to mid-sized company that gets most of their work. They represent like two of the world's top 5 patent filers. So pretty much all of their work is from like 2 major clients. So I can only speak to those 2 clients. What other companies are doing, I don't know.
Well, translating that to family law, I mean, drafting an MSA, I remember that used to take me 4 or 5 hours total if there were any sort of complicated provisions in there. I'm sure that's way, way faster now. So we're seeing a little bit of that already in our practice.
Yeah, right. But it's, that's always going to be a smaller part of what we do. Just, in terms, writing, right? I don't know what percentage of your, job was drafting motions and stuff like that. But, it's definitely not 100% like it is in patent law. That's the job. Here, there's always going to be client counsel and there's always going to be going to court. And I don't think in my lifetime that's getting replaced by AI anytime soon. So I think we're definitely safer on this end. It's much more people heavy.
I haven't drafted an MSA in probably 10 years, so I'm going off old data.
Right.
Try one tonight, Jeff. See, report back.
See how I do. Well, we have clients coming to us a day with like everything drafted. Say, here it is. Here's what Chat GPT gave me. So does this work? Like,
well, you take that? Because I wouldn't.
We would take them under our coaching. They wouldn't be a normal full-fledged client. We'd just be like a doc review or something. But yeah, sure, we'll take them.
Yeah, I guess I equate it to like taking work, where someone's had like 2 or 3 attorneys before that, and I still take the work again because I'm newer and I'll take reasonable cases that come in. But I've had a few cases where I'm like, even me who hasn't been doing this long compared to a lot of the other attorneys, I get these dockets and I'm like, what the hell happened? I see the same thing from ChatGPT. I'm like, I'm going to submit this and one of these cases is going to be fake. Like in the amount of time it's taken me to check all the citations and everything, I could have just written something myself.
Yeah.
Why come to me with something that's already drafted?
I don't know. That's an interesting point. If we believe that the models are going to continue to get smarter and better, then it would behoove us to not build a process for assuming that this is going to continue to happen, right? People are going to continue to try and get as much work done or leverage ChatGPT to get the docs, and whether they're right or not, they're going to become probably more right over time.
Yeah. I also just think that, again, comparing it to the other work that I do, there's this emotional component that you could point people to a textbook and say, here's the answer, and they're still gonna say no. I want to get in front of a judge and argue my point.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, true.
So,
Happy to help.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
well, good. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for coming back on. We'll see you next month.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys.